guys to mention the CEO himself, Davis Mondambo, is the one who gave me an attachment while I finished my bachelor's degree, and afterwards gave me an internship, and it was a pleasure meeting him. And I just found out that his story is one which is untold, and it is a very inspirational story. That's why I went ahead to look for him to come and tell us his story. So welcome again, Mr. Davis Mondambo, and tell us what is the work done by Davis and Associates.
Yes, Davis and Associates. Okay, even before I go to what we do, I think I'll start from where we began. In 1997.
Wow, 1997.
1997, we had an idea. And we thought we'd start with micro enterprises to offer bookkeeping and human resource management.
Okay. So
at the initial stage, we didn't even have an office. We were doing freelance, and at that time I was employed with some organization as a business administration manager.
Okay.
So after I'd worked there for some time, I thought I would do more than being employed in some organization, because I felt I was somehow very talented, and my ability and my potentials were great. And I needed to serve many people than one organization. So I got to one lady, and she had just completed her university education. She had done social sciences.
Okay.
So we drafted a blueprint of starting a small organization.
Okay.
So the terms at that time were just to focus on small businesses.
Okay.
So in January, we did start field work.
Okay.
And at that time, I was still working as a business administration manager.
Still in Nyahururu?
Yeah, still in Nyahururu. Okay. So I was working in some organization as a manager, and the lady was working for me freelance.
Okay.
So January 1997, she starts working for 4 months. Is when we now decided to open a small office.
Okay.
Yeah, mainly at that time we were doing human resource.
Human resource.
Yeah, manpower, sourcing.
Yeah.
Training employees for some people.
Okay.
Yeah, and see, at that time in Nyahururu, there was nobody doing such a kind of work.
Okay.
And to start that idea, I was inspired by one consultant when I was still a young person, looking around to find if I can get a job. So when I was tammacking, I happened to meet one person in Eldoret running Aruka Training and Manpower Development Consultants.
Okay.
After he interviewed me, he found I was a very, very intelligent person. If I was given an opportunity as a manager to set up an organization, what would be my strategies?
Yeah.
You can imagine. I'd never worked in such a kind of an organization.
And you are young already.
And I'm young.
Like you are.
I've not even tested the waters.
You are from college direct?
Yeah, college direct.
Yeah.
And not from college direct. I'd worked somewhere else before, but I was tutoring. That's business courses.
Yeah, business courses.
Yeah, that's business diploma in business management.
Like CPA.
Yeah, CPA, diploma in accounting, secretarial. So that's what I was doing.
Okay.
And then I felt it was still not adequate for me. I had to move to another level. So I had to apply. And I was called for an interview in Eldoret.
Yeah.
So when I went for that interview, the consultant identified a unique talent in me, unique abilities.
Yeah.
So I was offered a job as a business administration manager for one of his clients.
And then now posted in Nyahururu.
Yeah, and posted in Nyahururu.
Okay.
So while in Nyahururu,
It's not when you got to start now.
Yeah, I got now started. First of all, I was employed for 4 years, doing stock taking, human resource management, and project design.
No, which kind of stock taking were you doing then?
No, you see, at the end
of 1997.
Yes, we are doing stock taking. You see, that old man was very keen in managing his business. So at the end of the month, we would do some stock counting, fiscal stock counting, and also managing the records.
It was a shop or it was
a self-service store, a supermarket.
A supermarket, okay.
Yeah. So I had to be there for 4 years. And then after my 4th year, family business have those wrangles.
Yeah.
So the sons had also to come into the business.
Yeah.
And they also wanted the manager's job.
Yeah. Oh, the highest position.
Yeah, the highest position.
They want
so there was that.
The business for their daddy.
Yeah, that conflict. So when there was that conflict, an idea came into my mind.
Wow.
I thought initially I would start a bookshop or a stationery shop, but I looked at the implication also.
And the capital maybe.
And the capital, the intensive capital involved, and the other stakeholders and the competitors in the same business. And then I felt that able to do such a kind of job. So I had another option to sell an idea that I had trained for.
Yeah, sure.
And from my past records, there's something I discovered in myself. I had a unique kind of character.
Okay.
A go-getter, a courageous person, and a risk taker.
Hey, that one was very risk-taking.
Yeah, so I opted to resign in my 4th year.
You resigned your job?
Yes.
Know your business.
Yeah, to follow an idea. But before I resigned, I had to do a proper preparation.
Okay.
You see, in I said we started in 1997.
Yeah.
That's 1997. I had to employ that lady, a lady who had done social sciences, to do the marketing.
Yeah.
So we started on the field without an office for 4 months.
Without an office?
Yeah, without an office. We just started freelance.
And how were you working now without an office?
No, we had a plan. We had a blueprint, of what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that blueprint, we had outlined. We wanted to do bookkeeping, we wanted to do some human resource management, and feasibility studies, business plans. So it's just, you see, our strength was the idea. We didn't even have infrastructures, but we believed in what we were going to do.
Okay. Now with the blueprint is when now you started now the marketing with the lady.
Yeah, with the lady.
Okay.
So we went for 4 months.
4 months of marketing.
Yeah, 4 months of marketing.
Wow.
And even our first income was very little. That's 4,500 the first month. So you have to pay the lady. You have to pay the lady 4,000. So we had to continue like that up to 1998.
1998.
Yeah, doing the small things.
Yeah,
you see, like
bookkeeping. I think that some people don't. Maybe my fans may not understand what is bookkeeping.
Yeah.
What do you mean by bookkeeping?
Bookkeeping is those normal records of expenses and incomes.
Yeah.
In small businesses.
Okay.
Yeah. So we would keep the ledgers and the cash books for business people.
Oh, okay.
But the micro, not the bigger ones. We would do even for a hotel of 10 tables.
You calculate mandazi.
Yeah, you calculate mandazi and tea. Yeah. So we went for 1 year without clientele. And in fact, at the end of 1 year, we had only 2 clients. And
how old 1 year, 2 clients?
Yeah, 2 clients. So at that time, we would not even be able to sustain the office.
Right.
So what we used to do, I would bring capital from somewhere else, from where I was employed. So as I told you, we had rankles with the family. Then in 1998, I was forced to step out of the company and leave to the son.
Okay.
And then I decided now to risk, to go full-fledged running
office now.
Yeah, to my office.
By then you had established an office, or you are
Yeah,
still
we
working
established in
your
1997 after 4 months. That's when we established an office.
An office.
Yeah.
What was the rent of the office?
Well, we
How
are
much
paying
were you
almost
paying?
2,500.
2,500.
Yeah, so
and then you are paying one employee for 500.
For 500.
And the profit is for 500.
Yeah, the income, the gross income at that time.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the end of the year, in 1998, I had to resign because there was a lot of pressure from the family.
Yeah.
The son wants to be the manager, and I felt I would not fight back. Yeah, so I had a choice and I had a plan, and I believed in the plan.
Okay.
Irrespective even of not having capital. In fact, when we started, initially we had only 2 chairs and 1 table.
2 chairs.
Yeah, one chair for the customer, and 1 table for the person who will be in the office.
The wounded chair. Not the office chair, the wooden one.
Yeah, the wooden chair. Yeah, the old wooden chairs. Yeah.
Okay.
So we did. In fact, at that time, what picked so much was the human resource.
Yeah.
Because so many people are so desperate of employees.
Yeah.
And they didn't know how to source.
How to source.
Yeah. So when we would get one contract, we would be very professional.
Wow.
Because I believed in being perfect. In whatever I would do, I would do it very perfectly.
Wow.
Money was not even a motivator at that time. I just wanted to prove myself. So I would go through the right process of recruiting an employee. That I would advertise a post. And you see, not in the media, I would go full-fledged in town and pull posters all over town when I would search for one employee.
Wow.
So it grew us because the major income was on human resource, and small income from bookkeeping. But along the way, when you are moving, we started receiving some more professional, more technical tasks. Like one client would say, I want a cash flow, and we had never even known how to prepare a cash flow.
And how did you go about it now? You know, so, you ask for cash flow and maybe you don't.
No, we'd go to the bank. We'd go to the bank and tell them one of our clients needs a cash flow. But you see, we had that courage.
Yeah.
And even if we would go to the bank, we'd not sure that we didn't know. We just went there to clarify, to confirm.
I can relate.
Yeah. And then those people in the bank were also good.
Yeah, friendly.
Yeah, friendly. They would even guide you. And because you are intelligent enough, you would go back and do the thing right.
Wow.
After doing that thing right, that first task, you'd continue doing the rest and receive at least some referrals.
Wow. So in this business, it was all more of referrals.
Yeah, more. Even from the initial, you see one task. You see, initially you are not known, but the way you would undertake the task is what would matter at that time. Yeah. Yeah. So by I told you I signed in 1998. Yeah. Yeah. After signing in 1998, I came to the office. And started smart at 2 p.m. because there were those hotels which were working like 24 hours.
That is 2 a.m.
2 a.m. You see, it was now serious field work.
Yeah, and now you resigned your job. Now you want to put your all now into your business.
Yeah, I will put my whole heart.
Yeah.
And I didn't have other ambitions. The only ambition that I had at that time was the idea.
The idea now to grow.
Yes, and I had to make sure the idea would grow. But you see, like those years, 1998, there was low tax awareness or accounting awareness. Yeah, many people were not into it. So it was like Greek to many people. You could go around, if you talk about bookkeeping or even doing a balance sheet or a trading profit and loss account,
they don't know.
They don't know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it will, even the financial, and even auditing was very low at that time.
Yeah.
So there was less talk about them.
Okay.
So it was a really struggle. In fact, at some time, I really struggled to the extent that I started now writing books, small books on business tips. In fact, I had a small book, known as DDM.
DDM.
DDM Business Tips. That was just mainly
written by you.
Yeah,
You're
written,
the author.
Yeah, by the author. I went up to volume 4 and I started hawking them from business to business. So at that time,
At least not to increase
to increase the income, to supplement the incomes.
Yeah.
So the
and what happened? You now stopped writing the books because nowadays we know.
Yeah, it reached a time I was overwhelmed with other things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was overwhelmed with the more professional jobs.
Okay.
So it was a struggle, commitment, and focus. As I told you, I was a go-getter, a very hard-working person, and enticing to so many business people.
Wow.
In fact, you see, like, even some wanted to leave my idea to go to their businesses.
To start theirs.
To be their managers.
Yeah.
But I made one choice, that I would never be employed.
Again.
Yeah, again. So I decided, ikue mbaya, ikue mzuri, I'll just stick there.
Yes.
Okay? And I think that really motivated me. And I was never distracted. So like a small piece of mind or a piece of advice I would give to a young entrepreneur on this level is, when decided, never look back.
Yeah, never look back.
Because you have other options, you may never be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I stuck there. And you see, I was not even earning more. But it was about sustainability of the project that I had started.
Yeah.
And believing in that idea that I had started.
Okay.
So when it came to after you had really struggled with the rents, bills, in fact, there are sometimes we even accumulated rent for almost 1 year.
How about the landlord?
No, okay, it reached a time when the landlord was on our neck. And there's a time, in fact, we were locked out. Yeah, so you are used to that life of being locked out, locked in, allowed in. Yeah? So
the landlord locked your desk and your chairs inside.
Yeah, inside.
How did you go about it?
No, we decided to work freelance again. We started to work freelance for some time, especially in the years like 2019, 2020. Because sometimes we were taken to court for rent arrears. They wanted to auction our things.
No, your things was the desk, the desk and the chairs.
Yeah, the chairs. Yeah.
Okay.
So when things were not working, we would work freelance.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'd even make our office out of the door of the office, the corridor. So when the door is shut,
you work from the corridors. What?
Yeah.
What?
We'd work from the corridors because we had really decided. Giving up was not an option.
Yeah.
Was not an option. Yeah. And so at that time, even you lose friends.
You lose friends. Yeah.
Yeah, you lose friends.
No, if you are locked in.
And there are so many things people talk at that level.
Yeah.
Huh? But I didn't listen for noises. I knew I was working. I would put on my good suit and a tie and go to work.
At the corridors. Hey, that is funny.
Yeah, and I would go to work.
Then at what point maybe people saw that you are doing something, you are adding value into their business? When were those years?
When I got an opportunity to deal with a client issue, I demonstrated. I was able to I was up to the task. Yeah, I was equal to the task. Like I remember there's a client I got, a major supermarket, and that very serious tax issues. It was about failure to register for VAT tax while she was qualified. So senior KRA officers visited her shop, and they told her they have ascertained she should be registered for VAT.
Yeah.
And she has failed to be registered.
No,
so they were asking that penalty for almost 10 million.
10 million?
Yes.
A supermarket?
Yeah, supermarket for failure to register and other penalties and interest.
Yeah.
And at that time I was just a young person.
Yes.
But I had a big heart. So I went there courageously.
To face not the KRA officials.
To face the KRA. So, when I was with them, I introduced myself. I told them I'm Davis Mudambo. I'm a tax consultant. First, I told them I'm a tax consultant. Then they asked me why, and they never gotten used to that.
Yeah.
So when I went to Kisumu, everybody was saying that guy is very serious. You have to be very careful.
And maybe you see now in this you've mentioned tax agents quite a lot. What do you mean by tax agent?
Yeah, representative of business people on tax matters.
Tax matters.
And this is a regulation, it's a 2012 regulation. That's Kenya Revenue. It's a regulation. Before you represent somebody, you have to be registered or authorized, right?
Yeah.
To represent business people.
Oh, to represent. So you are just a representative of business people, not to the KRA.
Yeah, to the KRA and to mitigate on their issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, like in the tribunals, they want that person to argue on behalf of the taxpayer.
Now, when you talk of tribunals, what do you mean?
Yeah, you see, in the KRA, we have mechanism of arbitrating on tax matters.
Okay.
You see, the first process, you do the commissioner, where you receive either notices for some issues. And then, if you disagree with the commissioner, you will, okay, there's the objection process. You'll object. And then if you agree at the objection process, you can issue additional assessment.
Okay.
And if he issues the additional assessment and you are not in agreeable position, you will be forced now to appeal the decision to the other level of appeal. So there's the tax appeal tribunal. So you go to the tax appeal tribunal to mitigate your issues there.
Okay, and maybe what is the process of someone getting registered as a tax agent?
Yeah, first of all, to be registered as a tax agent, either you can be a member of ISPAC, a member of the Law Society of Kenya, you can be a member of a professional organization like ACPSK, or when this Act came into being, there were those tax administrators who had been there for almost 15 years.
Yeah.
They were allowed to
be registered as tax agent.
To be allowed to be registered as a tax agent.
So you want all those qualifications?
Yes, at that time I'd worked for that time. I'd worked.
Okay.
I'd worked for over 17 years, resilient without doing any other job.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had all the requisites. When I was taken to be vetted at all the requisite, and I became the first tax agent in Nyahururu to be registered.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
And how many are there now?
We are about 2.
2?
Yeah, we are about 2.
And you're talking of since 2012?
Yes, we are about 2. Yeah, and I'm the only one who represent business people in Nyahururu at the tax appeal tribunal.